Welcome to Calves Studios. I'm Chris. Are you new to foam rolling or maybe just familiar with rolling a couple areas? In under 30 minutes, we will roll each area of the body, becoming more acquainted with how to foam roll these specific areas. After, you're welcome to go back and concentrate on those tender areas that might need a little bit more of your attention. You can check with the chapters below in the description. But for now, let's get started. We're going to begin with the calf muscles. We're going to work our way up the legs and then to the mid-torso. So one of the things with the calf, the lower part of the back of the leg, we're going to start with the right leg and just place it a little bit above the ankle. Hands behind the back. Now you can just bend and straighten that knee if you would like. Now if it's feeling fine and you want a little more pressure, you can always cross the left leg on top of the right ankle. If that is too intense at any part of that rolling of that back of that calf, feel free to take it off. So there's two different ways. One is just to bend and straighten, and you're doing the back of the calf. You can always lay on your back or your elbows again if your wrists get sore or get tired of holding yourself up. If you want to do a little bit of a quicker roll, you can lift your body and roll the distance from the ankle to the knee, or you can work your way up, scooting yourself forward and rolling up the back of that thigh or the calf. Now, one of the other things we want to do is not just the back, but we want to do the edges on both sides. So you're going to drop your right leg to the right, leaning to the right hip, bend and straighten, and work your way up that calf. Other option is to lift yourself and roll the whole way. And then you do the same thing to the inside part of that calf. Drop the leg to the left and then roll up and down, or just sit down and bend and straighten as you work your way up. There's a second way to roll that calf that you want to make sure you get to, not just bending and straightening the knee. You want to pin or press down on the center part of that calf, rotate the ankle both directions, and then tilt your body, the upper body and the lower leg to the right, rotate the ankle both directions, and then the inside. So you're getting all different areas, and then you just move that roller up the calf or just slide yourself forward and continue to rotate the ankle as you slowly pin that area, pin and stretch it, and rotate the other side. And then back, and then work your way up, meaty part of the calf. This is where you might find a knot or a tender spot, and you want to press down, massage it out. Think of it as squeezing that sponge. If you have a sponge with water and you want to squeeze it out, and then it rehydrates. That's what we're doing to the tissue there. We're kind of squishing out any stagnant or tender area, and then it can rehydrate. It pulls blood flow and oxygen and nutrients back into the area, so then we can heal if there's any injuries going on there. So when we're done with the right, we're going to go to the left and do a little bend and straighten. Now that you kind of know how to do that, again, you can do one leg at a time. If you have plantar fasciitis or anything going on, maybe one leg is plenty. You don't have to cross. You can slide yourself up and down. You can tilt your leg to the side, bend and straighten. So getting along all the different areas of the back of that leg. Turn the leg to the right, bend and straighten. Again, moving your leg around on that roller, a little higher, a little lower. And then rotating that ankle, pinning any of those tender spots down. Turn it to the left and rotate the ankle. When we rotate that ankle, we want to do both directions. It's just a quick little preview of getting into that calf. And you have a tender spot. Even if you can't get it out the first time, just come back later on and repeat getting into that spot, putting a little pressure and rotating the ankle. A little bit higher. And we're rotating, moving that ankle, Getting into the upper part, little bend and straighten. You can combine the two. You can do just bend and straighten first and then focus on the rotating of the ankle. You can do a little bit of both, bend and straighten, and then add the rotation. There's not a right or wrong. It's what feels good to you and what you have time for. Or just, if you're super rushed for time, slide that whole body up and down. So that's how you do the calf. So for hamstrings, you're going to place the feet on the floor, and we're going to bring the roller up as tight as we can to the back of those thighs. We're going to bring the hands behind us. Now this one is the best way to do is one leg at a time. If you have a short or long roller, you can do both. I'm going to slide my roller to the side, to the right side, just so you can see a little better. And I'm going to bring my left foot to the floor next to me. So if it's hard to reach the back with your hands, you can just place the foot on the floor. I also like to cross the leg over so you can get a little bit of extra pressure on the back of that hamstring, and then just rock it side to side. And sometimes you might not have a whole lot going on in the hamstring, and maybe you do. And then you can also place the foot nice and tight over, place it on the floor, and just bend and straighten that right leg underneath. If you can't cross it, that's okay. Just lean into it, bend and straighten. If you have a couple yoga blocks, you can put them behind you on the floor to help lift up your body. So lots of options there. And then roll down a little bit lower in the middle of that thigh and rock side to side, massaging it out, and then keep moving down. And then if you need to put your hips on the floor, that's fine. Again, do a little bend and straighten. As you get down closer to the knee, we're not going behind the knee, but we're staying right above it. Go ahead and uncross the legs if they're crossed, and then you're going to transition to the left hamstring. So again, bringing it in very close, crossing the leg, and maybe you just stay seated on the floor. If your arms get tired, it's hard to lift yourself up. You can just bend and straighten and rock it side to side. You might find some spots there, or you can lift yourself up and rock with a little more pressure. Again, options, what works for you. Move a little lower, rock side to side. You might find one hamstring has a few more tender spots than the other. Also, we're straightening and bending. So you'll notice a lot is the same as the calf. We did some bending and straightening of the knee, and then we also rolled. You can do forward and back and side to side. A little bit of both. So the side to side is kind of like that ankle roll. Getting it in there and pinning it and massaging it out. Then we're going to sit our hips back on the floor and release the legs. That's the hamstrings. Now we're moving to shins. So to shin, the front of the lower part of the leg, we're going to come to tabletop. So to work those shins, option one is to we're going to start with the right, bring your right shin onto the roller. Now there's a bone that goes down the front of that shin. We want to avoid the bone and stay a little bit to the side of it, the outside edge. Bring your hands on the floor. You can use your left leg on the floor behind you for support. And then start just putting a little pressure. One option is to pressure on the roller with that shin. Drop your hips slightly to the right so you're not on the bone, and then rotate the ankle. And you might get a little release of the ankle, and then slowly slide that knee forward towards your hands and rotate the ankle some more. And a little more. Now, option here is you can just roll the body forward and back, or number 3, I like to add a little pressure. And this is a great preventative for shin splints. And you can slowly draw the body forward and back from the base of the knee, right below the knee, to the top of the ankle. And then rotate, if you can, that ankle as you slide that leg forward and back. This is also a really great core exercise if you want to use those core muscles. And then we're going to release the feet to the floor, and we're going to shift sides. So you shift to the left, reach your right leg out for support, and one, by rotating the ankle, you can slide that knee forward and back, getting into the shin. So if you've been out on a nice long walk, or you're hiking, or you're a runner, great way to massage out those that anterior tibialis or the shin. So prevent those shin splints. If it's really tender and you have shin splints, then probably not crossing them and just being very gentle. You can take a little body weight off of the roller if it's too sensitive. So listen to the body. And then when you're done, you're going to slide off. And of course, the best thing to do is to stretch each of these areas after rolling. But right today, we're just going through each one so you know how to roll them. We are moving to quads. So from the knee to the hip. So quads, you're going to bring your elbows to the floor. You're going to go to a plank position and slide that roller right across those thighs above your knees. All right, so we don't roll over the joint, and we're going to place those elbows on the floor, again, using those core muscles. Let your legs relax as much as you can. If you want your toes tucked, you can, but I'd like them untucked and just relaxed. And you're going to gently move your body forward and back along that quad, up and down, about an inch. We're only moving the body an inch. Now you're welcome, if you have a short roller and you want to do one at a time, you are welcome to do that. And if you are having a short roller, I'm going to demonstrate, you can always do one leg at a time and have the other leg out to the side. That can be a little intense, and you just keep walking your elbows back so you keep moving up those quads nice and slow all the way till you get to the top. One other option is when you get to the top of those quads is to try to bend and straighten at the knees. You can do them separately, or you can do them both together at the same time. You can even try adjusting on the roller and then doing some more bending and straightening. So same thing, always bending and straightening through the joint as you pin down that tissue, wherever the muscle that you're working is, and moving it up and down. Now from here, we're going to go to the middle of our quad. And I want you to lean onto your right elbow, bring your left hand to the floor. So we're going to shift to the IT band. Now there's a lot of controversy about rolling directly on the IT band. So you're going to start to tilt towards your right side. And you can bend your left knee and place it on the floor for support. But we're not going to drop completely to the right. You don't want to be directly on top of that IT band. Keep your body slightly forward so you're more on the lateral head or the outside front edge of your right quad. Consider it's the vastus lateralis is mostly what you're getting, which is the outside front edge of that quad. And you're going to roll along that. So that can get a little tender, and a lot of people, when they go to the side, they end up tilting that way anyways. It's better to roll that than directly over that IT band. So if you are wanting IT band, we're going to get to the TFL, which is the muscle part that connects all that. You can also go in a circle. You can drop your hips backwards and make a circle around the IT band, leaning forward and leaning back as you tilt and rotate your hips towards the roller and then tilt your back towards the roller. So I'm making a big circle around the outside of my leg, and either direction is fine. Maybe circle up the back of the thigh one way, tilt forward and go down the front at the other, and then reverse direction. And then release, and then we're going to do the other side. So then you're just going to go to the left leg. So we want to be balanced and do both sides, and we might notice a difference. So we're going to bring that roller to the middle of your left thigh. Bring your right leg in front on top. Start to tilt your body slightly forward, almost like you're going to roll that quad again, and then slowly draw your body forward and back. So this can be a little tender because that muscle comes down, that tissue, and it attaches to the knee. It can get really tight up on top, and it can pull that knee out of alignment. And again, you can circle. Maybe you drop the hips backwards and go up the back of the thigh, and then lean forward as you go down, or reverse either way. So big circles. Remember, we're not going directly up the side because we don't want to irritate or inflame that IT band. We're going to focus on the top where the pulls come from. So from there, now we're going to release. Moving on. Next, we're going to move to glutes. So we're moving up. We got the leg, most of the leg. We're still going to do the inner thigh, but that's coming in a little bit. So on that left glute, we're going to take the left ankle and cross it over the right thigh. You're going to pull that knee in slightly and then roll from the top to the bottom of that glute. Just getting the whole thing. So remember, I'm going to continue to remind you to stretch after you do each one of those. But today we're just learning how to do every single area and hitting every part of the body. So forward and back. If you find a tender spot, you just move that knee up and down. So if you're just finishing an activity and you just need to loosen up, this is a great way, and it's also a great warm-up. We're going to release that foot and we're going to transition to the other side. So you're going to lean on to your right butt cheek, right hand on the floor behind you, cross. You can roll without crossing your leg, that's totally fine. I like to cross that knee because it gets you a little deeper into that glute, tightens up that tissue. So just roll all the way up and down. And if you find a trigger point, just pump that knee. So now we're up here at the glute and we're getting into a lot of the connective tissue of the hip. So we're going to go even deeper. So we're going to extend that right leg straight out since we're on the right side and just drop into that right elbow. So here we're going to move into the TFL, tender fascia latte, which connects to the IT band. So you're going to be in the middle of that glute and then you're going to drop and rotate all the way to that right side. And you should be below your hip bone, but above that leg bone. So that's where, now we get to go on the side directly. Before on the TFL, on the IT band we did not, but the TFL we can. Bring that top leg in front, and you're just gonna do a gentle rock forward and back. You can bring your left hand to the floor for support. So it's basically where your leg and hip connect. Like if you were to pull your knee up, you're gonna feel that spot where it connects, and then just rock it side to side. You can even do a little gentle up and down, but don't go over the bone there. So it's a little easier to get into it side to side, and you can use a tennis ball in there sometime. All right, so then we're going to release, and we're going to just rotate all the way to the other side onto your left. I'm going to spin around so I can show you. So you're on your left butt cheek again. That's the easiest way to find your TFL. A lot of people just drop to the side and they end up down on that leg or below that hip, the leg bone. So you want to be up on that glute and then drop to your side. So you're right in the middle, right in that soft spot. Bring the right foot in front and rock side to side. Just a brief little rock side to side. And then we have one more spot to connect everything. And then we'll be moving on to the upper body. And then you're going to release and you're going to slide off that roller. Now we're going to move to inner thigh. So you're going to bring that roller next to you and you're going to go ahead and lay on your side. I'm going to lay on my left side. I'm going to start with my right leg. Inner thigh coming up on top of the roller. The knee is bent, so my hip is at 90 or close to it. If your hip doesn't go to 90, that's okay. And the knee at 90. And you're just going to roll your body towards that roller so the roller goes up the inner thigh. So you're really rotating so that roller's coming all the way up as far as you can go comfortably on the inner thigh and then come back towards the knee. So the roller's running from the knee to the inner thigh, all the way up the inner thigh towards the groin. Now option, you can keep the knee bent. You could even straighten the leg and roll. And remember that bend and straighten of the knee. You can hold at that spot and bend and straighten the knee and continue to do that as the roller slowly moves up your thigh. Continue to bend and straighten. So again, we're not going to spend a lot of time here, just want to demonstrate how you do that inner thigh. Then I'm going to show the other side. So you would just flip over, and I want you to try both sides because it might be very different from one side to the other. We're on our right side now. We're going to bring our left knee up onto the roller. So the inner thigh of that left inner thigh is on the roller, and then start to draw the body towards that roller. So the roller is moving from the knee, inside of the knee, up the inner thigh towards the groin. So you might even drop towards your belly as you roll closer to the roller. Then you're going to pause, and you can straighten the leg and roll, or you can straighten and bend the knee as you add a little pressure to the roller. And then you can bring the roller up and a little higher. So this is where you can find some tender spots on that inner thigh, the gracilis. They attach up into the hips. When one side gets tighter than the other, it can pull that hip out of alignment. And then we're going to release. And you can see why that area would be important to stretch when you are done. Now we're going to move on, upper back. So we're going to bring the roller across your mat. You're going to lean into the middle of the shoulder blades. If you have long hair or a baggy shirt or a sweatshirt with a hood, make sure you are aware because it will get stuck under that roller, or the roller will eat your hair or the top of your sweatshirt. Fingertips behind the ears, but we're not interlacing. The first thing we're going to do is just keep the hips on the floor and just open and close. That's one option for upper back, just to get some range of motion, help our posture. Second option, lift those hips, and we're going to roll towards the top of the shoulder blades to the bottom of the shoulder blades. So you might get a little natural chiropractic adjustment. So you can roll those a few times. And then we're going to find the middle of our shoulder blades and lower the hips. Now we're going to move to lats. So the lat muscles are right behind those shoulder blades, the shoulder armpit area, right back down there, the meaty part. You're going to drop your hips and knees to the right, about chest level, right behind those armpits. And then you're going to roll onto your right side, going towards your right armpit. Now your elbow can go on the floor, and you are going to roll gently a tiny bit, like an inch forward and back, right into those lats, those shoulder blades, right behind that armpit. Your elbow might even come off the floor, and then you can also bend your left knee, place your left foot on the floor if you're on your right side, and move your body up and down along the outside edge behind that armpit on that right lat. So you might be feeling some tender spots, especially after working on the computer. Now from here, we're going to go a little deeper just while we're here, and then we'll get the other side. We're going to get a little bit deeper into the lats and the triceps. So palm is up behind us, the right palm, because we're on our right side. You can even let your head drop towards your shoulder, and then you're going to draw, look, hips are to the floor, draw the body down so the roller goes onto the arm and then back towards the armpit. Now if you're missing lymph nodes, stay further rolled onto your back or lats. If you are good to go, you can go even into that armpit and get into those triceps. You can even try turning your palm down and get a little different angle. And then all the way to the back again. And then just transition to the other side. We're going to drop our knees and our body to the left hip. We're going to roll into our left lat. And just see how that feels, okay? So you're going to do a gentle rock side to side, getting into that lat. Option to do a little bit of up and down movement. You're holding and supporting your head with your hand. and you can even go a little closer into the armpit if that feels okay to you and you are not missing lymph nodes. Then we're going to go into tricep again, palm up, reach the arm over way up behind us, and then slide down towards that tricep, towards the back of the arm, maybe getting into the armpit, and then turn your palm down, try different angles. If it's tender, use the hand for support, and then palm up. Yeah, just mess around with it, see what feels okay to you. Then back into that lat as we roll back into our upper back, and then come all the way up. Now we're going to move on, going into pecs and biceps. So we're almost done. We got to finish the front of the body. So you're going to roll onto your belly, and you're going to bring the roller at an angle next to your left side or right side. We're going to do both sides. So this part is about the pecs or the chest wall, and we're going to get a little into biceps, so pectoralis and biceps together. So you're going to hug the roller as tight as you can into that chest wall. You can even bring your chin on it or bring your chin to your hand in a fist. So your neck is nice and long. And as you're hugging that roller, start to reach your left arm out and draw along the floor with your palm down, sweeping motions with the arm to get into that pec muscle. That's how we do the pec. Hopefully you're feeling that. You can even do a little movement forward and back, and then bring that roller a little more to the left side so you can bring your left bicep on top of it. You're still on your belly, and you're rolling palms down in that bicep. The best thing to get really deep is turn your palm to face your feet and your thumb is towards the floor. Continue to roll from towards your armpit towards the elbow, armpit to elbow, and then turn your palm up and release. Put my mic back on. Then we're going to flip sides. We're going to turn that roller to the other side, bringing it to your right side of your chest. Bring your arm over the top like you're hugging it. You're really giving it a nice hug. And then sweep that right arm, really massaging through the chest wall. Notice the difference on one side and the other. You can get nice and deep. Make adjustments if you need to. And then you're going to move that roller to the side and bring your right arm on top of it. And then start to roll your whole body side to side. So you're moving the roller from your elbow to your armpit. And then turn your palm to face the back of like your feet, and your thumb is down, and then try turning your palm upward and notice the difference, how you get the different heads of the muscle. And then palm back down. And then you're going to slide all the way up, coming out. And again, you would normally stretch each of those areas. And one of the things that I haven't included yet that you can do either at the very beginning of this, but we're going to do it right now at the end to finish. So you can end or start with the head and the neck. So bring your hands next to the body. The head is supported on the roller like a pillow. You're not pushing into the vertebrae of your neck, but you're pushing more into the back of your head. And then roll your head to the side, right side, left side, give it a nod yes, getting into the occipital, base of the skull, try the other side, rock and roll, nod yes, nod no. And that's how you do the head. And then slowly come up. And we're going to come to a nice tall seated position. You just rolled the whole body. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead, exhale, palms to heart space. Namaste.